Chicano Rap Radio. Raw and uncut.
Cubo, and welcome to Chicano Rap Radio. I'm your homie Snipes holding it down, and today we have Mr. Nada in the house. What's up, homie? How you doing today?
Hey, what's up, Carnal? It's a blessing to be here, having this interview with you, my boy.
That's right. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. There's really not too much background information to give about you. I mean, everybody knows who Mr. Knightowl is. You're definitely one of the OGs. In regards to the Chicano rap. I mean, let's just touch on that just a little bit. Who is Mr. Nada in regards to Chicano rap, and let's kind of bring everybody current to where you are now as a musician or as an individual in regards to how you see the whole Chicano rap scene, because you've definitely been one of the leaders since day one. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, first of all, I'm definitely one of the pioneers and one of the creators of this whole genre. I'm not gonna take it upon myself and call myself the one that invented it or whatsoever, but I am one of the creators. There's others out there as well. And as far as the music today, bro, I don't really like what the youth is doing right now. It's kind of like they don't know where they're at and they're confused. And what they're bringing to the Chicano rap game is definitely not my cup of tea. Let's just say that. But everybody's entitled to have their own opinion.
So, and tell me a little bit more about that. I mean, you being one of the pioneers of the Chicano rap and laying down the foundation and maybe seeing what it's evolved to and now. I mean, you definitely have a strong opinion about what's going on because you care about the genre as a whole. What is it in particular that you see? What's the disconnect between Chicano rap when you were doing Chicano rap versus Chicano rap now?
I think that the disconnection is the lack of pride in your own culture. I don't believe that the people these days are embracing who they are and they're living someone else's culture. And I definitely do not fucking agree with that. You need to represent your own. It doesn't mean you have to act like Orale Holmes and stuff like that, but be proud of who you are, man, and represent your culture to the fullest, because no matter how you look at it, we can't stop being who we are and be proud of it.
Right. And I think who Mr. Nada is definitely one of those individuals who cares a lot about his roots and where he's from and how he got him to where he's at now. I mean, if I understand correctly, you were born in TJ, right?
In Tijuana, yeah, I was born in Tijuana.
Tijuas and grew up in SD, which there's a lot of our culture is so rich, and you see so much of it in that metro area between the SD and Tijuana connection. It's a good blend. You can go right across the border and get the authenticity, and then you can come right back to SD, and then you still have that little flavor there with a little bit of of our own twist on it, with a little bit of the Cali culture into it. So I enjoy visiting San Diego for that reason, and I think it also creates individuals with a bigger perception of what's going on in the world. Now, in regards to the way some people represent themselves, why do you think that is, that they maybe identify with a different culture more than they do with their own culture?
Well, a lot of it has to do with music. If you see the Chicano rap game right now and what they're doing today, is a lot of these young kids are going around using the N word. And I don't think that's something they should be doing. I cannot force them to not do it because I'm just a regular human being, but I do not agree with it. And I think the loss comes from that they don't think of themselves as that they can be someone without pleasing, let's say, the black race. What I mean by that is that a lot of these dudes want to act like them, thinking they're going to get farther in the game and go mainstream. But if you look at the picture, analyze it, and just ask yourself, when was the last time that you've known of a black individual buying Chicano rap or buying Mexican rap. It's never happened. It doesn't happen. Therefore, don't cater to what they do. Cater to your people because your people is your fan base, and that's what you need to do.
And you, since you were there from the beginning, you saw, I mean, not only the creation of Chicano rap, but you really saw it kind of grow and thrive the way it did. And back then it was, through a lot of hard work. I mean, there was a lot of having to push your music, on the streets, in the callejones, in the swap meets, at wherever it took, because people had to get physical copies of your music back then, with the CDs, and I'm sure there were some bootleg, CDs out there, but I mean, you still had to hit the streets. Now it's different. You have all these different artists who don't have to go out there and grind and sell it directly to the person at the swap meets or on the streets. I mean, how do you think that's affected, the Chicano rap game? I mean, is that a good thing? Is that going to allow us to get bigger faster, or is that a bad thing in regards to maybe there's too many people putting out whack music? I mean, what's your view on that, on the digital music distribution?
Well, it could help and it could hurt. It all depends on you as the individual, right? Because not everybody works the same format. Now, back in the day, I do say this. Back in the day, we worked extra hard because everything that we did by ourselves. We had no social media. We had nothing that can get us known overnight. We worked hard. We sold CDs out of the trunk. We got known all the way to Russia, Europe, China, and we did all that with just word of mouth and people having good music. So we had to work extra hard. So we made sure that what we put out was good in quality, and we worked extra hard to give people what they wanted to listen to. Nowadays, any fucking bozo, any fucking jerk can do a fucking song and put it out and just put it on social media. And within a day or two, they got a bunch of views because they're known through social media. Doesn't mean that their music is good. It's just that they have people that follow them because of social media. It's very easy now to get known. Back then, just imagine if what they have available now, we had back then for us, we'd all be fucking millionaires right now, because we'd have the ability to not only get known overnight, but just to make sure that we fucking gave them the good music that we did. And right now, since they're kind of spoiled, a lot of the music that's out there is terrible, and I mean, as a individual, I'm sure you listen and you got your own opinion, but you probably know what I'm talking about.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I also wanted to get your take on the sound of Chicano rap now versus the sound of, back in, in the beginning, where it was definitely more like a mixture of like hip hop con oldies, or a little bit more like mellow, not mellow sound, because you can still go hard on an oldies beat, you know what I mean? But there was definitely more of a connection to what came before, and the transition from the music that turning it into Chicano rap versus Chicano rap now. Like, what's your view on the sound now of the music that everybody's putting out, aside from the language that they use?
Well, before it was a little more traditional. You know what I'm saying? We stuck more to our roots, but that's not the reason why I say it's better. There's a lot of good music out right now as well. The reason why I liked the music before more, because there was more talent. Some of the guys now, they want to say, oh, we have more talent because we got, 8 million views or 2 million views. And the music speaks for itself. If you got so many fucking views, why can't you sell shit on Spotify? Nobody buys your shit. You're just known through YouTube and all that, but you make no money. You still work a 9 to 5. All of us that fucking did music from before, we made a career out of it. And we have something that they can never take from us and they'll never be able to do. And that's sell millions of physical copies. They'll never do that anymore because that doesn't exist. So we got things on them that they'll never be able to do. And the thing is that these young kids, as much as they try to throw it on us and say that we don't help them. It's not us that ain't helping them. It's them that's not helping themselves, because at the end of the day, all these new kids, all they do is talk shit on how bad they are, how dope they are, and how much better they are. But in all the reality, they got no fucking talent. There's only a few that do, you know. And right now, anybody can be a rapper. Any fucking guy can grab the fucking mic, record, put out a song, and put it on the fucking social platform, and now they're an artist. Back then, it wasn't like that, bro. You had to earn your spot, carnal. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
it was a little harder, bro.
Yeah, no, and I do think that that's, one of the big differences between the evolution of how Chicano rap is developing now versus back then, because back then you definitely had to not only work hard, but also have the talent, but at the same time have access to the resources that it took to be able to push that talent to the masses, and one of the things that has always been like a source of pride for me is how how a lot of you of the pioneers in Chicano rap were able to get distribution deals from big labels that allowed them to remain independent and still control their music, which is rare for people to do that. I mean, can you give us a little bit more insight in regards to your dealings with the recording industry, and how you saw them kind of accept your music?
Well, what ended up happening, you know, I seen stuff like everybody wanted that big major deal. You know, everybody wanted that. That was everybody's dream. But it was really hard because of people like, and this is not to downplay them. Remember, they were the first ones that got that major deal. Frost, Lighter Shade of Brown, a lot of these groups from back then that had that major deal became basically they flopped because they weren't able to do the numbers that the black artists were doing. So they were only around for, like, let's say, one album, and then they cut them loose. And when they released an album with a major, the money they had to pay back was great. It was like a lot. They would charge them for posters, for promotion, radio advertisement, everything you can think of. So when their album came out and they were only getting like a dollar something a unit, so they were never able to pay that back. They always owed money. So that's why they did not make much money back then. But I myself, basically being an independent, I started seeing how things were and how things would happen. So I was smart. I was one of the smart ones that every time I had some type of distribution deal, it was a distribution deal, which allowed me to keep ownership of my music. I didn't sell my music to a major. I started my own record label, which was Sawed Off Records. And having my own label, I was getting paid $6 a unit. You know, so me getting $6 a unit instead of one, that's a big difference. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and it's a lot. It's a huge margin.
It's a huge margin, exactly. So, you know, I would have basically albums coming out and not being exclusive. I was able to work with different distributors. I worked with Eastside Records, had some of my stuff going. Murray at Familia had some stuff going. I went through BMG. I went through Líderes. I went through Universal. I had stuff. I was one of the only ones that was working with Robert Gillerman out at Southwest Wholesale. When I was working with Robert Gillerman, I only had 2 albums going through him, which was The Untouchables, the 619 Hoodlums, I'm lying 3, and The Best of the Knightowl. And out of those 3 records, I was receiving a check, $10,000 a month. That was like my little, you know, money that I got from him. So I had like 10 G's a month just off those 3 records every single fucking month. And that was there with Southwest Wholesale with Mr. Gillerman. Then I had my stuff going through Eastside, making my other G's there. Then I had fucking stuff going through Líderes and BMG. And then I always kept the streets that allowed me to basically manufacture my own music and sell to the swap meets,
The mom and pops.
the mom and pops, to Don at People One Stop, Abbey Road, ADI, Leonard up at ADI. So I had all these places that would buy, you know, say 2,000 3,000 units a month for me, and I was doing that myself. So I was making good money. You know what I mean? I was doing really well. And I learned that by just basically watching the whole movement and creating your own record label and just taking a hold of the game. That's something that these guys now will never be able to do because CDs don't exist no more. You can
Right.
still sell them, but not to the degree that they were sold like before. So they have no idea the hard work and the dedication that we put into this game for them to come now and say that they're doing all this shit, but yet they don't fucking sell records, bro. That's why I'm like, I laugh at these kids now because they really don't know what they're talking about. You know, they're in a new era and they know nothing about the hard work and the struggle, but the money that was made when you work hard. These guys still work a 9 to 5. So they have no idea what it's like to be successful, you know,
Yeah.
and we did. We worked hard, bro.
Right. Let's take a quick little break and we'll be right back. You're
All right.
listening to Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Hit us up at 805-395-6595 for your special requests, dedications, and shout-outs. Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Welcome back to Chicano Rap Radio. We're chopping it up with Mr. Knightowl, one of the pioneers of Chicano Rap. I was talking to him about how his music evolved from being able to sell his music on the streets directly, you know, to the consumer at the swap meets, at the mom and pop shops, to being able to get a distribution deal. I mean, that's where we left off last, how you were able to stay independent, but still lock in these big distribution deals with some big players to be able to move some units. And you're talking about how some of the younger artists right now that talk about their music being better than, you know, when you guys were out, you were saying that they're not able to move units like you because of the physical copies. It's no longer a thing. You know, you can't, I mean, you can still go and print CDs, but people don't really want to listen to CDs anymore. Everything is streaming. So how do you think an artist can stay relevant in these times now with the whole digital music distribution thing?
Well, the way to stay relevant now these days, it's by videos. It's visual. It's a visual thing now. You know, I myself, I'm fortunate because I've never really done many videos. If I was a new artist not doing videos, then I wouldn't sell shit, you know. But fortunately, due to the fact that I got a loyal fan base for like 30 years, then they're always going to be with me. And then those fans introduce the music to somebody else, and it just keeps on going. You know, that's how good music stays alive. But these days, I think in order for you to be relevant, you got to do videos, mandatory. You got to promote, and all you got to do basically is get on the internet, talk shit, you know, put some stuff out there, and that's it. That's what people want to do. You know, everybody loves someone talking shit, and they fucking want to listen, and they follow you.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. People like controversy, you know, and there's definitely a lot of controversy, you know, right now in the industry. I mean, yourself, you know, are definitely at the forefront of a movement right now to kind of define what Chicano rap is. You know, you and Royalty have been going live on Instagram and kind of, you know, letting people know your view on, you know, what's going on. Is that something that you want to get into right now? Kind of touch on, maybe clarify any kind of points of view for anybody?
Yeah, you know, basically the only reason why we're out there and we've been going live a little bit is because we don't want to basically dick our people around. You know what I mean? We want our people to know that we keep it real and that we are for the people, you know, and there's certain individuals that what they do is they want to live off the individuals, which is the fans, and they do whatever they can to create funds to get money to survive because they don't fucking work. And they feel, okay, if I get money from my fans or from the fans, you know, I can get over on them. But that's not what it's about, man. You don't get over on your fans. You don't do them wrong. You are supposed to show them love. And that's the reason why we fight for you guys, the fans, because we don't like certain things that we're seeing. I can get here and start talking shit about people and mentioning names, I don't need to do that. People know who's who and who's what. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, bro, I just want the fans to open up their eyes and to see who stands behind them. You know, I've been one of the ones that fucking gives my fucking jacket off my back for the fans, you know, and I go out of my way to show them the love that I do, you know, and everything that I do is for them, bro. You know what I mean? I don't do this for me because if it was up to me, I would have quit a long time ago. I'm tired already, man. Shit. But
You've been doing it for a long time, homie.
30
And
years,
strong too.
you know what I mean? 30 years. And I've been able
Yeah.
to keep up with the changes. I've been able to do what I do. And every time I do something, I'm not like some of these other dudes that want to just get some fame by running around and filming themselves giving money to an individual. Like, oh, here's 30 bucks. Here's 200. Fuck that. If you do something from the heart, you don't got to put it on fucking video or put it on camera so that people can say, oh, he's cool. You know, I've helped a lot of fucking people and nobody knows about it, but I don't give a shit. I do it because I want to, and the man up there knows it. You know what I mean? That's what you do. You help people out from the fora, and that's when you do it legitimately and it's organic and real. Not because you want fucking views on social media. That's not the way to do it, bro. You know? So
Mm-hmm.
I just think that everybody should have respect for each other and the fans because without the fans, we ain't shit.
Where do you think what do you think is the next evolution of Chicano rap in order to take it to where it's at now, to definitely to the next level? I mean, what needs to happen in order for Chicano rap to evolve?
Unity. That's the key word. Unity, no hating, and just working hard, man, and everybody helping each other. It's hard for that to happen because within our own people, I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna ramble just for a minute on
Yeah,
something.
go ahead. You
Okay?
got the floor.
Okay, but trip out on this, bro. This is where I find shit being so fucking stupid. Okay, let's say there's 8 brothers, okay, and one shows up in a brand new Cadillac and he pulls up, right? Got a brand new car. The other brothers look at him and say, damn, homie, that's a bad ride, Jerome. That's just tight, brother. Man, homie, balling out of control. Okay, they congratulate the dude, right? They're happy. Our fucking people, homie. Pedro gets there with a fucking brand new Cadillac. And as soon as he leaves, they're all, pinche vato ese puto. Yeah, he thinks he's bad now. That motherfucker thinks his shit don't stink. Why do we fucking do that? Instead of congratulating the motherfucker, you hate on the dude. What we need to start doing is being proud of our own people, bro. The day you start fucking analyzing that and be like, well, yeah, this motherfucker's right. And you start giving your own people props and stop hating, we're gonna grow. Because look, if you think about it, bro, there's a lot more raza that listens to music all over the world. We got Chile, Nicaragua, we got fucking Bolivia, Spain, Mexico, all these continents that fucking bump Mexican rap, Chicano rap, whatever you want to call it. And there's just millions of people. We can be mainstream without fucking mainstream here. We don't need the Gavas to buy our shit or the brothers to buy our shit. We got our own people, and there's just so many of us. But what happens is they divide themselves when some of them want to go and please the brother. They want to say, that's how I want to sound. That's what I want to do. So at that, everybody starts dividing each other. Think of your people, think of your race, fucking make sure they buy your music, and you got fucking all these continents that'll follow you and support you. Homie, we can go fucking millions and millions fucking units sold, you know, through mainstream. Well, I'm not through mainstream, I'm saying through what do you call that fucking digital? You know what I'm saying? So if we get all that shit through digital, bro, imagine we'll sell more than a regular mainstream artist, but they don't see that. And that's where the division is. We need unity, bro. We need unity.
And I see your point. I think it's a very strong point, a very valid point. The one thing that just kind of popped into my head was because I've been trying to define really, you know, Chicano rap in terms of not necessarily like a geographic area, but more of like, you know, what it is in regards to like the sound or the culture behind it. because I'm trying to figure out a way how to incorporate other members who have contributed to Mexican rap, as you call it, or Spanish rap, Chicano rap, whatever, that maybe grew up more like, in the Midwest, or for example, Texas. Texas has a really big, scene too, of Chicanos out there, but there's a little bit of a different flavor with the Houston, Chicanos. How do you reconcile the two, where there's maybe a blend of how they grew up versus the way people on the West Coast grew up? I mean, do you understand what I'm saying?
I do. I do. Houston has and Texas and all that, they have a different format on how they do things. Okay. Now I'm not saying it's wrong. That's the way they are over there. That's the way they run their program. We're not going to change their program. We don't want them to change it because what they do works for them.
Right.
So what works for them, keep doing it. You know what I mean? And they do have good music. Okay. Out there, the difference is that I would say the brothers and the Mexicans, they mingle with each other tough out there. It's different than here. Here, it's not like that. And since it's not like that, oh well, don't try to please someone that doesn't give a fuck about you. Bottom line. Okay,
Mhm.
so right here, I think Chicano rap, it's not necessarily a sound. That's one thing that people don't understand. I myself don't think it's a sound because it's a genre. Now, in the genre itself, there's different styles. Okay, some rap like a cholo, some rap old school, some rap hip hop, some do love music like MC Magic and them.
Right.
So there's different styles in the genre. Okay, now the dudes that don't want to be called Chicano rap, I'm sorry, buddy, you're Chicano rap. Now, the reason why you're Chicano rap is because you rap and you're a Chicano. Therefore, they're going to label you Chicano rap. No matter what you try to do, it's never going to change. We did not choose to be called Chicano rappers. They gave us that title, the media, the fucking market. They said, this is Chicano rap. We have no control over that. We can't change it. That's what they fucking gave us. It's like right now, homie, you got on a pair of shades and so do I, right? They're
Yeah.
shades, they're glasses. Can we call them something different? No, because why? That's what they were named. They were named shades. They were named glasses. Headphones were named headphones.
Right.
So at the same time, you got to think this is what they named this type of rap, Chicano rap, because we're Mexican. Now we have no control over that. So we have to just embrace it, analyze it, and just do what we do and not be embarrassed of it being called Chicano rap. It doesn't mean you have to rap a certain way.
Right, right. And one thing that I wanted to also just kind of get your quick little take on was, what about artists out there that happen to be Chicano or of Mexican descent,
Right.
and are actually trying to target, that crowd, but it doesn't seem genuine. I feel like there's some artists out there who are trying to like be like, I'm Mexican or I'm Chicano, to kind of target that segment of the market, but I don't really think it reflects the way they really believe, or what they really are. What do you take on that, of someone out there trying to kind of what's the word, monetize the market without necessarily being
Being one of them.
with the culture or with the lifestyle? Yeah.
Well, you could kind of see those types of people are like water. You can see right through them, and that's the reason why they never get nowhere. You know what I mean? Those types of individuals, they might have a song, let's say they get lucky and have a hit, but they're one hit wonders. They do that and that's it. They're never again heard of or whatever. They're only around for a few months. You got to have longevity in your career in order to claim yourself as a successful individual in the business. 30 years, homie, I'm still here. Shadow, 25 years, because he's younger than me, but he's still here. Little one, he's still here. You know
Right.
what I mean? Conejo's still here. He started way back too. Everybody is is not gonna be around forever. You know, some rappers have long careers, but that's because they were able to keep up with the changes and with the times. You know what I mean? So rapping's not for everyone. You know, those that play the part just to monetize, like you said earlier, those types of individuals should not be rapping because I mean they give us a bad name.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too much into that because I don't want to start, naming any artists or anything like
Yeah, yeah,
that. But I do feel like there's artists out there that aren't being genuine in regards to, their culture or their roots or whatever. They just see as that's a big market that because they are of Mexican descent or because they are, Chicanos that they want to tap into, but that's not really what they believe or they live. So, um, hopefully the ones that finally do make it, because I do know that there is going to be a Chicano artist that is going to go mainstream at some point. I mean, there's just too much talent out there, and there's just it's a huge market, So there's going to come a point where we're going to have a mainstream artist. I just don't know how long it'll take to get there. But before we get into that conversation, because I want to get a little bit more into your music or any artists that you yourself are working with right now. Let's take another quick little break and then we'll get into that conversation. You're listening to Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Welcome back to Chicano Rap Radio. We're chopping it up with the one and only Mr. Knightowl. We've been talking a lot about the current state of Chicano rap and how he grew his fan base back in the day 30 years ago. He's been doing it for such a long time versus how people are growing their brand now. And I wanted to get a little bit more into that conversation in regards to the music. I mean, what is your take on why the industry is maybe reluctant to work with Chicano rappers in regards to helping them go mainstream? What is it about Chicano rap culture or the lifestyle that maybe makes these bigger labels a little scared to to fuck with us?
Well, as you said, that is very true. And the reason for it is they feed you what they want. They feed you this music and they make it mainstream. It's not that you're mainstream or you're not. It's what they give to you on the radio and what is played and what you hear. And the reason for that is because a lot of these major labels and radio stations, they don't want to put music like ours as far as the raza, because unfortunately, a lot of our people are not very bright. There's a concert, and what the first thing they do is they hit somebody up. Hey, there's fucking that dude right there. Where's he from? And all of a sudden, they create problems, and problems become a liability, and people get sued, and people lose money. And major labels do not want to do that. They don't want problems. So they're like, we'll give them this type of shit, which is, some dumb, fake ass dude that's not going to create a problem. That's just a happy go lucky kid. And they make those guys be the ones that go mainstream. And then everybody follows suit and listens to that. And if they were to have people that are going to go there and create problems, then shit, they're losing all the way around. So that's the reason why a lot of these things happen in our business today, because of the lack of intelligence in our own people. Instead of gang banging, man, enjoy life. Enjoy life and fucking enjoy music and support your people, and we will grow a lot farther and faster.
And do you think if there was, a peace treaty that was enforced and implemented, amongst everybody out there, and in the street culture, do you think that would change anything for Chicano rap? Do you think then we'd be able to attend concerts in a peaceful manner where we're just there for the music?
I doubt it. And the reason why I say that, bro, because there's something going on right now that I won't really get into, with politics, where peace treaties in certain areas and people talking to people from certain neighborhoods, and they're trying to do that. And in some places it's somewhat enforced, but it's not so much the gang members right now that are doing that. Now it's your everyday fucking Joe because of social media. Right now, everybody wants to be a somebody, and somebody will look at somebody else and say, "Hey, that guy got a gold chain, and that guy sold a little bit of weed on my block. Fuck that." So now, just regular okie dokies are going around with guns and shooting people because they think social media makes them famous, and they do things and basically do it on social media. I mean, you see how it is right now. You know, everything that's done is to get fame. People,
Yeah, there's a lot of people self-snitching, I guess, without even knowing
yeah,
they're doing it.
pretty much.
Well, hopefully at some point we are able to make that transition because I think the music in itself is, is there's a lot of talent and creativity there where it draws a big crowd, and at some point if we're able to give the artists what they deserve in regards to those merch sales because of these big concerts, these sold out stadiums or whatever. I mean, I would say, that's the goal to eventually get there as an artist. Now, what's going on with Sawed Off Records? What's going on with maybe any current projects that you have going on or any artists that are coming up? Tell me a little bit more about Sawed Off Records and the future of Sawed Off Records.
Well, this year we're gonna hit it hard. I got some new artists that I'm working with right now. Right here from San Diego, I got my boy Ant the Menace. We're in the middle of finishing up his album. We're working on it. We're going to be releasing a video in the next maybe 2 weeks. We'll get it up on Latin Beats TV and all that. So we got Ant the Menace. Then got my boy Big J. His album is done already. Then we got I'm doing a project with Shadow.
Okay. Now this is you, Mr. Knightowl, doing a project?
Yeah.
Like you guys are both going to be going into the studio together?
I'm doing a whole Shadow album right now, just Shadow. We're going to put out a Shadow album, and then me and Shadow are doing an album together as well. And then for those that want me, Shadow, and Little One, we're also doing an album together, me, Shadow, and Little One. Then me and Little One are doing a new Hollow Point album. Then I got my boy Trigger Trey. He's from the AZ, but he's living in San Diego now. So we're doing his album. Then got my boy Ewok, and we're doing his album. Then we got my boy JD. We got Mr. Oldie and The Real Most Hated. And then I have, that's just the artists I have here in the US. Then we have a bunch of artists in Mexico. I got a big old arsenal of artists out there. My main one is Arma Verbal, which means verbal artillery. That dude is fire. So we have a lot of stuff happening. We got about 4 videos coming up in the next, I would say, next 3 weeks. So we're gonna be busy.
There's a lot coming out of your camp. Yeah. I mean, you have a lot of artists on your roster. Yeah, good for you, homie. And I'm sure with your guidance, all those projects are going to come out bangers where they're going to have a lot of heaters, and I feel like they're going to do really good. What do you think is going to happen to like the touring industry in regards to the music? I mean, I know that played also a role in regards to getting, your music to where it is today, that you were able to not only sell CDs, remain independent, but also go out there and connect with the fans through the touring. Do you think that's going to come back anytime soon? And if it doesn't, how does an artist now make up for that, for lacking that experience? How does an artist now grow from that?
Well, first of all, the only way that's going to happen is once this COVID shit stops. Right now, it's just too crazy. You don't want to go out there and end up catching that shit because it affects everybody different. Not everybody dies from it, but people do. It is real. My mom had it before. My mom got real ill. My uncle had it. A few cousins had it. So it's not bullshit. That stuff is real, bro. It exists. You know what I mean? So yeah, people take it lightly, and a lot of people, they want to be out there and thinking that everything's gonna be okay. Well, it's gonna be okay till the day you catch the shit. Now, do you want to take that chance and be one of the ones that gets real ill, or do you say fuck it, I'm gonna be careful? because
Yeah.
it's not just about you anymore. If you catch it, you got your mom, your dad, your siblings, your friends. You know, it's not just you now. You can infect a lot of people. So let's everybody try to be careful, take care of each other till this motherfucking shit's over. And once it's over, I'm sure the hunger for concerts is fucking needed right now.
We'll
And
come back.
yeah, I'm sure we'll come back. And there's other ways to create, I guess you can say, situations to be able to communicate with the fans. You know, there's a lot of other ways. And being that a lot of people are staying at home right now, use your mind and use your imagination right now, because that's all you can do. So you got plenty of time to figure out different ways to communicate with your fan base.
That's right. That's right. And what is your view on Chicano rap overseas? Where do you see it going in the next 5 or 10 years? And how can an artist kind of tap into that if if there's more love outside of the States?
Well, I mean, they've always shown us love overseas, man. You know, everybody out there is just dying for what we give them, you know, and they take what we give them. So I think that we just got to show them a little love and go out there, do some shows, and let them know that they're appreciated, because they do stand for us all the time, man. You know, and I think we just need to show them a little love. That's all.
And you mentioned earlier about your music reaching all the way to Russia and all these far off places back in the day when you were just distributing CDs. I mean, do you still get any love from fans out there? In some of those countries where maybe they don't speak Spanish or they don't identify with the culture.
We definitely do. I mean, if you look at right now, they have a whole culture in like Japan and in places in Europe where they look like straight raza, you know, but they're not. But that's how they dress, you know, the Virgin Mary, the lowriders, you know, the whole look, you know, and they love that culture. They love the way they don't know exactly what it represents like we do and how it started and why we did what we did and all that, but they just like it and they've embraced it. So they love our music and they support it. So hey, you know, much love to them for fucking embracing our music and showing us love, you know. And honestly, I think that if we go out there and we rock shows over there, man, we'll come back happy as fuck, because they pay a lot better, because they don't get to see that stuff, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll be nice.
So if there was a sawed off tour, in the works, an international sawed off tour, I mean, where can we expect some of those spots to be?
Oh, definitely, we got to hit the Midwest, you know, Texas, you know, Memphis, Atlanta, Chicago, uh, the East Coast. Want to go out
That's
there to
right.
the East Coast. I've never been to the East Coast. You know what I mean? So I'd like to definitely go out there. You know,
And overseas, what about overseas? What countries would you hit?
man, you know what? I've always wanted to go to Argentina, just because I hear there's beautiful women out there. You know,
Um,
Argentina, boy,
Beautiful women. I'm sure there's a lot of Chicano rap fans. That's right.
just everywhere, man. Everywhere. China.
Yeah.
You know, I hear stories on China. I don't want to get into them here, but they've told me the things that go down over there, boy. Man, I know about some crazy shit over there.
Oh yeah, no. So
So,
some of these places overseas, they don't play around.
no, no, no.
I,
I take
I think I think here we're all blessed to be able to speak your mind and have a lot of freedoms, because they don't see what other countries impose on their citizens. So I mean, I think we're blessed here. I would like to see some of those places, and I hope that what's going on with the virus and the economy and all these countries kind of shut down. I hope that goes away soon so that Chicano artists, Chicano rappers, and the genre as a whole goes back to where I think was headed, which was evolving to the next level. And I definitely think doing a tour for some of these fans, these loyal fans overseas, is definitely the key to some of that success. You mentioned in a conversation we had a couple of days ago that Chicano rap doesn't necessarily need the mainstream US fans because there's so much fans overseas that support Chicano rap. I mean, why do you think that is that, that Chicano rap here in the US, it doesn't get the same kind of love as overseas?
Well, I'm going to clarify that. It does get the same love, but you got to remember this. Chicano rap here has to compete with all other rap. Okay.
Good point.
In like places like Mexico and all the continents where they only speak Spanish, we don't got to compete with nobody, dog. We are who we are, and they look at us as the kings of rap. So they love what we do. They support everything we do, and they idolize us. So they try to do what we do, and now they're doing stuff just as good or better. You know what I mean? But we having all those places that support us, dog, we don't need to try to make somebody else be like, hey, look, listen to my music, man. Oh, but it's good. Listen to it. No, you don't like it. You don't support us. Fuck you. Later. We have our own people to buy our music, and there's millions of them, bro. Millions of them. So why try to cater to someone else? Cater to your own kind. Be true to your people, and you're gonna fucking be successful.
And that's a lot of really good insight coming from you, and I appreciate you sharing that with us. Before we end the interview, I wanted to get your Instagram account for anybody who's already not following you, in case they want to, stay current with your music and what you have, coming down the road. What's your Instagram account?
Okay, my Instagram account is The Real Mr. Knightowl. That's TheRealMrKNIGHTOWL. The Real Mr. Knightowl. That's my Instagram. Then for those that want to just say what's up on my Facebook, it's Ramon Corona. That's my Facebook. And okay. And then my website, I got www.sawedoffrecords.com and www.mrknightowl.com and www.sawedoffcartel.com. And right there, you can find the latest in merchandise, in apparel. I have like probably 40 different shirts. I got a lot of styles and different shirts from the Sawed Off camp, different apparel. I have just about every single album that I've released on the website on hard copy. So I still have hard copies. I still sell them through my website because I know that there's a lot of fans that prefer the hard copy than just to download the shit. Right. I know I'm one of those that I would love to get the CD and open up the booklet, and then when you open up the booklet, you read the credits and blah blah blah. That was my thing. I've always loved it, So I got that. I got hats, shirts, jackets, hoodies, vinyl.
Wow, you have a lot.
Animals. I did
a lot of merch.
Animal. I got a lot of merch. And you just go to my store, check it out. You know what I mean, and get whatever it is you need and shit.
And any last words for the listeners that you want to leave the listeners with? Like, what do you want, your legacy to be in regards to the music game, or any, last, really solid piece of advice for anybody watching right now?
Well, I'd like it to be that the day I'm not here, I don't want to be remembered as a piece of shit. I want people to say that was a cool motherfucker, man. That dude put it down for our people, And when I made my decision to not be such an asshole, because before I used to snap real easy, over smallest things, I want to go crack somebody's head with a bat. You know what I mean? I think different.
You've evolved
now because I'm older. I'm not that kid no more. And also when I got sick, homie, and I was in the hospital for 7 months, and I almost didn't make it out of there. It made me see life different, and it made me think of like, damn, I gotta do something that's gonna make an impact with my people, that I'll be remembered as somebody that did for them, not somebody that took from them. And
That's right.
that's all, homie. You know what I'm saying? I'm a good dude, man. And I
Yeah.
like to keep it solid. That's all.
Yeah, and I definitely agree. I mean, you know, you're very transparent. You know, you're outspoken, but you also come from a place of wanting to do something positive. You know, for everybody as a whole. You know, to kind of uplift and you know leave something good behind. So I see that, and you know, aside from your music. Uh, you know the way you carry yourself, I think is a good representation of what Chicano rap means. So you know, thank you for being that constant, you know, for the last 30 years. And we look forward to all your upcoming projects, all your music, you know, you working with artists from Mexico as well from artists from here, you know, from the US and putting out their music and continuing to be a force in regards to the Chicano rap scene. We really appreciate your time, homie. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you very much for having me here. It was a pleasure. And, much love, homie. And I'm here anytime I'm needed.
That's right. We'll definitely have you back for sure. You're listening to Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.